Welcome back to Hockey Unplugged. This is the second episode in our standings predictions. We're moving on to the Central Division. I'll let Jayden start us off here.
All right, I'm gonna do the list again. So in eighth place, I have a lot lower than what I think Jack and Carson had them at, but I have the Blues in eighth. They have a really old decor, which is not looking good for them at all. And their goalie Binnington, they still have Binnington, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, Binnington. I don't like him a lot either. So that's why I have them that low. I don't know. I feel like it's a toss up between the bottom three, but that's why I have them at eight.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard with the Blues because, like you said, they have obviously really old ancient decor now, and it's not looking too good. But they do have a decent forward core. Actually, they have decent pieces at least. I think they have Kyrou and Thomas. So I was honestly even debating higher, but then I was like, you know what? Nah, I have them in my list. I have them sixth, so kind of still at the bottom.
They're not the most relevant team right now. I'm that kind of
not really,
I guess, but
a bit rude. No, but I think they're wait, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I have them at six as well. Actually, I don't see them at the bottom, but I don't know.
They're kind of just in that mucky middle. Hey,
yeah,
those mucky middle teams. You just don't really know what to say. They're just gonna be mid.
Yeah.
Then in my seventh, I have probably what you guys had at last, but I have Chicago at seventh. They're gonna be probably really close to the Blues. It's not gonna be a close race to seventh, but I think Bedard will make them a little bit better than the Blues. That's why I have them above the Blues. Even though it's his first year and stuff, I still think he's gonna be a really good center for their team. And that's all I really have about them.
Yeah, I think I have them. I had them last, like you said. I'm not too high on them. I understand the Bedard hype. Obviously, even I'm on that train. I have a lot of hype in Bedard, but I just don't know if he's gonna be able to really help that Chicago team at all. Really, he doesn't really have that much help. He has Hall now and Reichel, but they're just still such a early rebuild stage. Their roster, just from looking at it, if you compare the Blues and theirs, I just think it's quite a bit worse, and they don't really have a goalie too. So I don't know. I'm quite low on them, but we'll see. Maybe they shock the world or something.
Yeah, I have them last as well. I think they need to they're gonna start their rebuild now that they have Bedard, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll definitely be good in the near future. I would say maybe not the near future, but sometime somewhat soon.
Yeah.
I just can't see them being good at all this season. I don't think Bedard and Hall, they're not gonna carry the entire team, right?
Yeah, no, I think I agree, a really bright future, but I still think they're gonna maybe have at least one more year of being the bottom here, and then maybe next year once a few of their other key prospects come in, I could see them maybe challenging for sixth or fifth, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, and then in my sixth, you guys probably had them at seventh. It's just one bump up, but
yeah,
I have the Coyotes. I think that, did you guys have that at seventh or no?
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, I had the Coyotes at seventh.
The reason I have them above both of them is because over the offseason they acquired Kerfoot, Jersey, and Dumba.
So
three players that are probably a middle, they're half decent on a good team, which will make their team a little bit better. They're still playing in the college university. What is that stadium called? The
Mullet Arena, right? Is that it?
Mullet Arena.
Yeah.
Which I think actually is an advantage to them, which they're winning a lot at home last year, which I don't know if you guys saw that, but they're winning. I think they'll pull it out and go six. They're not going to be good. I'm not saying they're good, but I think they're not going to be the worst.
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of thinking the same. When doing this list, I was wondering they might be a little bit better just because of you kind of mentioned the defenseman they acquired, and they have Logan Cooley too, who is former third overall pick in 2022, and I think he's going to be a Calder finalist for sure. He's going to have a monster year, but I just think overall, just still a really young team. They are getting a lot more exciting though. Not going to lie, their rosters looking pretty exciting, but I still think they maybe have 1 or 2 years, kind of the Blackhawks, sort of being the basement team there in that division.
Just adding on to what Jayden said, I think they are winning a lot of their home games actually, and I think I saw something as well about that being kind of an advantage for them playing in that mullet arena, just because other teams aren't really used to playing in arenas like that. I think, right?
Yeah.
I don't really have too much else to say about the Coyotes. Like, I think as well, they're not going to really be good for a couple of years, but they definitely have a decent future. I wouldn't really say they have a bright future. Like, I can't see them being a great team, like, ever really in the next, like,
Ever. They're done.
not ever, but like they could be a good team for sure at some point. But I can't even think about when they'll be a good team, honestly.
I think like they have like pretty good, like they had a decent draft. I mean, actually, to be honest, when we did our draft overview, we had them like, I think like one of the worst teams in the draft, like the first round. But I think they have like decent future for sure. But one more thing I wanted to ask you guys, what's the deal with them relocating? Is that not happening anymore?
I'm actually not sure about that.
Well, they tried the arena proposition there, but I don't think it went through. So there's tons of rumors of where they like would be moved to, but I haven't heard much recently.
Yeah, so is this their last like run in the desert or what?
I'm not sure. I think I've seen people say they're staying, but it sounded pretty like certain that they were leaving when it first got like announced.
Yeah, so I know we're going a little bit off topic right now, but I'd like to see them in Quebec City.
Yeah, I'd like to throw that out there. Actually,
that'd be cool. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's get back on track.
Yeah. Okay. In my fifth, I have. So obviously, since I said the Pacific are taking the 2 wildcard spots, the 4th and 5th on this list will
who you have
taking the slots for me. Yeah, I said 6 with Arizona.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah.
Bad.
Yeah. Sorry. Then in 5th, I have Winnipeg. They lost Luc Dubois the offseason. I don't think he was great for the team, but I don't think that's obviously a downgrade for their team, right? And I just don't think they're going to be in the playoffs this year. They'll be close, but it's not going to be close enough.
Yeah, I think they're kind of just going to be kind of even what they were last year, just like that mucky middle. But I agree. I think both of the wild cards will most likely go over to the Pacific. I think Central's probably like maybe the weakest division in NHL right now. So yeah, I don't really see like much in their roster. I know some people are a little bit higher on them. Like they have obviously Hellebuck, but who knows what's happening with him? He might get traded. They have Scheifele, but I think he's like injured or something. And then Connor and Morrissey are like only really like stars I can think of. So yeah, I just think they're kind of, I agree. I actually have them also at 5th on my list, just kind of in that mucky middle there.
Yeah, I have them around the same spot. Kind of, they're really like nothing special about them, right? They're not going to be terrible, but they're not going to be good. It's kind of just hard to place them.
Okay, yeah, and then in my 4th, also probably just missing the playoffs, probably like 1 or 2 points. I have the Nashville Predators. I think they have the new GM, Barry Trotz, which was good. He had a busy summer. He signed Ryan O'Reilly from the Leafs and Nyquist, and as well as Luke Schenn. I forgot about that one. I think they'll still be a really strong team, but just not good enough to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit like to be honest, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I'm not the biggest fan of the offseason that they had. Like I think it would have made a lot more sense. Like they bought out Duchesne and traded Johansson or whatever. So I thought it would have been a bit better idea for them to go into a rebuild. But then me and Carson have kind of talked about this. They went out and like signed all these ancient fossils. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I think it will for sure keep them sort of in that playoff race. But is that the thing they really want, being in the mucky middle? Because honestly, I think it might have been a better idea for them to just accept the rebuild after they like bought out and traded those guys and just be bad for a couple of seasons and get some nice draft picks. But they went down the route of, I guess, trying to stay competitive. So we'll see how it goes. But I also do have them in the 4th, I think, just with like Soros and stuff and like Forsberg, and they're getting Yossi back. All those guys were injured last year. So I think that's going to for sure put them ahead of a team like the Jets.
Yeah, I don't really know what they're doing. Like I've said this before as well, Jack said it. But I think as well, they should definitely just go into a rebuild, or they should have, sorry. They're not going to be competitive like they want to be. I don't know. I think a lot of people could have made like a better decision than they did, but.
Where do you have them in your standings?
I have them at the same spot at 4th.
5?
Or 5th, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that I had him at 4, but yeah. For 3, I think this one maybe will split apart a bit. But I have the Abs at 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they have a really strong forward. I think the top 3 in this league are really strong, with the bottom like 5 aren't as strong as like.
Yeah.
But I think they re-signed a few players. I don't know exactly the ones they re-signed, and their forward core is insane. And obviously still Kale McCarroll on the D as well. Their defense is crazy, so they're still gonna be a powerhouse, and they're gonna go far in the playoffs. So I don't think they're gonna do insane in the regular season.
Yeah, that's fair. I think honestly, I think this year they're gonna like bounce back a little bit. Like I have them second in the division. I have Minnesota actually at third, but we'll get to that later. But I think they have like obviously a really like still like extremely stacked like forward core, like you said. Like they're gonna hopefully be really healthy. Like I don't know if they're getting Landeskog back, but they added a lot like Johansson for their centerman 2C. They added a little bit more, and they arguably have like the best D core in the league. So it'll be really interesting to see how they do. I'm still like not 100% sold that Georgiev is like a elite number 1, but he was their number 1 last year, and it seemed to work not too bad for them. So I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think they'll be decent this year. I don't know if they'll make like a full like comeback to where they were in their Stanley Cup year, but they'll definitely bounce back. I think they were dealing with some injuries last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know.
That was a big thing, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Are those all like resolved now, do you know, or?
I think for the most part, like obviously all the big ones, like Makar will be like 100% healthy. Like last year, he was obviously injured for a lot of the season, but obviously I still think like Landeskog's out, but I think we kind of know that.
Definitely with Makar back to like 100%, he's going to be a big part of the team this year. He didn't have a great season last year just because of those injuries, but
yeah, for sure.
All right, in my second, what you added in third, I have the Minnesota Wild.
Okay.
They added some key parts. I have really high hopes for this team. I think they're gonna be a really strong team. They added Pat Maroon this summer, and they acquired John Klingberg. This is right before the trade deadline. This was a while ago, but they have John Klingberg, Nyquist, and Sundqvist on their team. So I think it would be a really strong team, and that's why I have them at second.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Klingberg went to the Leafs.
Oh, he did leave. Yeah, but yeah, that was from a while ago. Then not bad.
No good, but yeah, I think like I'm like I actually like the Minnesota Wild. They have a pretty like solid roster, but I think issue with them sort of is they don't really have like an elite like top 4 like D-man or anything like that, and they lost like Dumba, so I don't know. I just have them a little bit lower, but actually only in like third, so like 1 spot down, not that big of a difference. But then they have like Wallstead and Gustafsson as a D or a goaltending tandem, and they still have Fleury there. So it'll be interesting to see. I still think they're obviously going to be like really good this year. Kaprizov's going to do his thing. I just think with the dead cap when they bought out like Suter and all that, they're kind of being handicapped right now. But once all that comes off the books, I think they'll be like even better than they are right now.
Yeah, I have them at third as well. Not really much to say that you haven't covered. I think they'll be definitely a decent team, but I think there's, I don't really know. They could even be fourth. I could see them at fourth. Like you said, they don't really have any like star players on defense.
Yeah,
they have a decent offense, but it's not the best in the league.
Yeah, I think just because like this Central is also like really weak, they're gonna kind of just easily be able to make that third spot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then in my first, you guys probably have them the same since we've been talking about it, but
yeah,
the Dallas Stars, their team was looking like insane. They added some key parts to their D-core with Lundqvist coming in and Marchment, and I think, and they re-signed Ottinger and Robertson, which was a big worry, but I think definitely re-signing those was a major part for their summer. And I think they're just gonna be the top 3 team in the league because like they're just so strong with Ottinger in the net. Like he's an insane goalie, and I have high hopes for them as well.
Yeah, I kind of was thinking all the same things, like just up and down, like such a gross team. Like the forward core is so deep. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the Duchesne signing this offseason. I think that was a really good signing, like only for like $3 million in 1 year. Like he could easily have like a 60, 70 point season, and then they have like a star in every single position. Like they have Robertson and they have Heiskanen and Ottinger, and they're all still like relatively young with some like, veterans around them like Ben, Sagan, and Pavelski. So I think they're for sure gonna like be pretty good. They went to the Western Conference Finals last year, so I think they're gonna be buzzing this year, and I don't think that's a surprise at all.
No.
Yeah. I said this about the Oilers for the Pacific, and I'll say it with the Stars as well. You can't really put them anywhere else other than first in the division, especially with this division, just because it's such a weak division, I guess. But yeah, okay. So I think the Stars are like definitely a top 3 team. I can't remember who said that, but one of you guys did. And I could honestly see them like in the finals this year for sure. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't know.
think that's a hot take at all. I think they're for sure going to be up there, and they just got even better this year.
Yeah.
Or this off season, I mean.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if they won the Cup this year. They've been so close. Well, not really. Last year they had a good run. The year before that, was it first round the Flames knocked them out?
Yeah, and that was 21-22.
Yeah, but that was still like, that was a crazy series. They were, honestly, I think within the next like few years at least, maybe 2 or 3 years, they might have a Cup coming for them.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think they'll definitely be easily the best in their league as well. Like Central's not that strong.
No,
I think that's easy. Like, and most people have them at first in their like predictions, like just looking at other people. So I think it's true too. Like, unless they get injuries, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think like I don't know if they're gonna necessarily run away with this Central. Like I still think the Avs are gonna give them a good run, but I think it's gonna be like a battle, kind of like those two teams pretty much till the end. But I think Dallas is just like gonna inevitably like win the division, and they're gonna be like nasty all year. All right, so me and Carson, and now I guess we won't like talk about it too much, but we'll just list off what our predictions are just so you guys can hear them. So at 8th, I have the Chicago Blackhawks. Then 7th, I have the Arizona Coyotes. 6th, I have the St. Louis Blues. 5th, I have the Winnipeg Jets. 4th, I have the Nashville Predators. 3rd, I have Minnesota Wild. 2nd, I have Colorado Avalanche. And then winning the division, I have the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, I actually don't even need to say mine because mine is the exact same.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
No way.
Nothing different at all. But
all right, guys, so that wraps up the Western Conference there. So we'll be back with the Eastern Conference again. Like I said in the last episode, Jayden will be on there again. We'll talk some Eastern Conference hockey. But thanks, guys, for tuning into this episode. Be sure to like and comment on all of our posts on like Instagram and stuff. And you can tune in anywhere on YouTube, TikTok, Reels. We post it all on there. So thanks, guys, for listening. Take care.